What if I told you? The people who never post photos online are often the most psychologically difficult people to understand. While everyone else is busy documenting their lives, they're quietly disappearing from the internet on purpose. No selfies, no photo dumps, no random vacation posts, no need to constantly remind people they exist. And in a world obsessed with attention, that kind of silence feels almost suspicious. Because let's be honest, today, posting yourself online is considered normal. People photograph their food before eating it, record concerts instead of experiencing them, take 40 selfies just to choose one that looks effortlessly natural. Some people don't even enjoy moments anymore, they manage them. Every experience quietly turns into content. But then there's another type of person, the one who watches all of this and slowly pulls away from it. Maybe you know someone like this. Their profile picture hasn't changed in 3 years. Their account looks inactive. You can't tell if they're traveling the world or living in a cave somewhere, and yet somehow they always seem calmer than everyone else. Psychologically, these people are fascinating because most of them are not avoiding attention accidentally. They're rejecting it intentionally, and usually they fall into one of 3 categories. Type 1, the self-sufficient. This person does not rely on digital reactions to feel valuable, which sounds normal until you realize how rare that actually is, because social media trained people to connect self-worth with visibility. Post something, wait for reactions, measure your value through engagement. Likes become emotional currency, and most people are far more addicted to that system than they admit. You can see it everywhere. Someone uploads a photo, then checks their phone every 5 minutes. Did people react who viewed it? Why is this post performing worse? Should I delete it? That's not confidence. That's emotional dependence disguised as confidence. But the self-sufficient type escape that trap. They don't feel the need to constantly announce themselves, not because they think they're superior, because internally they already feel secure enough. If they look good, they know it. If they're happy, they feel it. If they succeed, they don't immediately need witnesses. And honestly, people who constantly seek attention often feel uncomfortable around people who don't need it, because independent people expose hidden insecurity without saying a word. Type 2, the judgment dodger. Now this type is completely different. These people don't avoid posting because they're deeply confident. They avoid it because social exposure mentally drains them. For them, uploading one photo can create an entire psychological battle. Do I look weird? Does this seem desperate? Why did this person ignore it? What if people judge me? Should I delete it? Was this embarrassing? Their brain turns one simple post into a courtroom, and the internet makes this worse because social media transformed human interaction into constant public evaluation. Every post gets scored: views, likes, comments, shares. Even silence feels meaningful online. If someone doesn't react, people notice. Humans were never designed to emotionally process hundreds of silent opinions every day. And some personalities simply break under that pressure faster than others, so instead of playing the game, they leave it. Not because they hate people, because psychologically, the stress outweighs the reward. They'd rather protect their mental peace than maintain a digital identity 24/7. And honestly, a lot more people feel this way than they admit. Type 3. The authenticity architect. This is probably the deepest type. These people noticed something disturbing about social media. The second you start thinking about posting a moment, the moment changes. A sunset stops being beautiful. Now it's content. Dinner stops being dinner. Now it's aesthetic. Friendship stops being connection. Now it's proof. That's the problem. The camera quietly changes human behavior. People smile differently when they know they're being watched, act differently, talk differently, and eventually, some people start living entire lives as performances, not intentionally, gradually. That's why some people suddenly disappear online because they became exhausted pretending their life was always exciting, meaningful, beautiful, productive, or happy. The authenticity architect refuses to do that anymore. They want experiences that belong to them, not to followers, not to strangers, not to an algorithm. To them, privacy feels more valuable than attention. And honestly, there's something psychologically powerful about enjoying moments nobody else gets access to, because modern culture turned visibility into proof of existence. People genuinely feel like experiences matter less if nobody sees them. That's why concerts are full of phones, vacations become photo shoots, even kindness becomes content now. Everything is performed. And the people who stop performing, they suddenly look strange. But here's the truth nobody says out loud. Not posting photos online does not automatically make someone wise, mysterious, or emotionally evolved. Sometimes people stay private because they're secure. Other times, they stay private because they're hiding. Low self-esteem, body image issues, fear of judgment, social anxiety, fear of being perceived. Privacy and avoidance can look identical from the outside. That's important to understand. The internet loves romanticizing silent people now. People assume, oh, they don't post? They must be deep. Not necessarily. Some private people are emotionally grounded, others are emotionally disconnected. Huge difference. But regardless of the reason, people who rarely post photos usually understand one thing better than most. Attention changes identity. The more humans feel observed, the more they start performing. And after enough years online, some people completely lose track of who they actually are without an audience. That's dangerous, because eventually life becomes less about experiencing reality and more about managing perception, looking successful, looking attractive, looking happy, looking interesting, even when none of it feels real anymore. That's why some of the calmest people you'll ever meet barely exist online. No pressure to entertain strangers, no pressure to constantly update people, no pressure to prove they're living well, just life, quiet, private, real. And in today's world, that's becoming rare. So here's the real question. When you post something online, are you sharing your life? Or are you asking strangers for confirmation that your life matters? Because people who rarely post photos usually stop needing other people to answer that question for them. So which type are you? The self-sufficient, the judgment dodger, the authenticity architect, or maybe you're still trying to figure out who you are when nobody's watching?